So, downloadable content. First, before I get started, a bit of a surreal experience. I found that two people who watch these vlogs added me on Skype. They seem like nice people. They will probably introduce themselves in the comments if they have YouTube channels. Hello to people who are watching this that don't know me already. Being somewhat of a gamer myself, and having several friends who are gamers, I find the conversation of downloadable content comes up a few times. For the most part, people feel bitter towards the whole thing. A common thing I hear is that the game should be finished in its entirety when it is released, rather than, okay, here's a large portion of the game, but if you want the whole experience, better pay for that DLC. And to a certain extent, they're right. That is annoying. But at the same time, I don't really mind DLC. Even the infamous Street Fighter Cross Tekken on-disc type. The way I see it, the DLC itself isn't the problem. The problem is the reason we even have it. Let's be honest, with the way that games are distributed these days, it's hard for the people who make the games to keep making money off a title. With online gaming and people pirating titles or buying them second-hand, game companies want to still make money despite these problems. So DLC is a good way of dealing with that. Problem is, with everyone making DLC, it now is part of the marketing and how you make the game. The fact remains that where we are right now with gaming, DLC is a big part of it. So as long as you understand that, the real thing is, what is the DLC and how much does it affect the game? The kind of DLC that I really don't like that really needs to stop, is when they have a huge section of the game that you can only get through DLC. That is just ripping off your customer, because you've already planned that this was a section of the game, and it's an important section of the game, and they can only get it through paying a little extra. No. That's just stupid. That's something similar that wasn't part of the original plan, that's something that wasn't programmed with the original game. And they're like, hey, we've got some extra content for you to play, but it's not really enough for a new sequel. So here's some DLC. That I like, and I think most people like that kind of DLC. In my opinion, the best DLC to have pretty early in the release is costumes. If you want the costume, you get the costume. If you don't want the costume, no big deal, it's not important. Pre-order DLC is a thing that also gets a lot of negative attention. It's like, you've already got the DLC. Why is it pre-order exclusive? Just put it in the full game. But at the same time, I understand why. It's to make sure those pre-orders sell, these special editions that cost a bit more. Now, I prefer when it's a special edition that there's something other than the DLC to get from the special edition. And of course, I expect said DLC to be released for everyone later. Of course, my previous statements still apply. If it's stuff like an entire mission, no. But the worst kind of DLC, in my opinion, the very worst, temporary DLC. Oh, I just found out about this game, it's really cool. I missed when it was new and everything, but it's got some interesting DLC. Oh, I can't get this DLC because it was limited to this week and this week alone, before I'd even heard of the game. That actually harms the very thing that DLC is meant to deal with. Customer interest. You have got people who are new customers, people who've bought the game, who want to pay for that DLC because they got it second-hand or reduced price. And they'll say, you know what, I'm willing to pay extra to these developers because I like this game. Only to realise that the best DLC was gone before they got even started. So yeah, I was inspired to make this video because I saw some new costumes for the newest Naruto game have been released. And they're pretty cool costumes. I like them, and I will be getting them myself. But it did make me think that previous discussions I've had on DLC would make a good video topic. Tell me your thoughts on DLC in the comments. What you like about DLC, what you don't like. See you around.